These are diddles. Okay, I have an exercise here that we're about to work on is called isolated diddles, because essentially what we're doing is taking rolls where you have diddles throughout the roll and isolating those on maybe one hand or all the right hands or whatever. So if we look at this exercise, basically what you're going to see is in the first measure there's a check pattern of 4/8 notes. Okay, then we do that again. So I'm going to take those 4/8 notes and I'm going to put a diddle on the first right hand. So in the first measure, then I'm going to put a diddle on the very first one. Now, again, we can do this in two ways. Same way we did with the exercises. We can do a double stroke, or we can do a double bounce. Now, depending on what level you're at, you can work on them as either double strokes or double bounces. I really encourage the beginners out there, or the people who are first doing this for the first time, to do it as a bounce so that you get used to placing a bounce in a specific place within an 8th note pattern. So, first line, it's all on the right hand. Check pattern for measure, then we put the diddle on the downbeat 1 and 3, then another check pattern, and then in the last measure of the first line, diddle on every right hand. So check it out. First line, I'm going to put my metronome here at 70 beats a minute. Play that first line for you. Okay, pretty simple. I had some initial problems there. You notice I maybe squeezed a little bit too tight for that first diddle. Okay, I can play those as double strokes, or I can play them as bounces. Okay, try them both ways just to kind of get the hang of it. What I like to do with my students is, rather than go to the second line if you're a beginner, I have them play the first line again, this time starting on the left hand. So play all the way through the first line with a left hand lead. Check that out. Okay, what that will do is get you used to isolating those diddles on the left hand, first on the strong beat before we get to something that's a little bit more difficult. So as you work it up and you kind of got control of that, and I speed the tempo up here to maybe 110 beats a minute, work on the quality of sound that you have on those diddle strokes. Okay, if you are a high school level snare drummer, or even at our more advanced level at working on these techniques, you should be able to play at this tempo with double strokes. Okay, you can also take this and play it okay, you can play it with your hands on your stomach like I just did, to work on those double strokes, or you can play it on a pad and actually bounce those strokes. So I'm going to play it at 110 here. I'll kind of use something a little bit in between. I don't stroke every single one of them, but I'm using my back fingers here to add a little bit of quality behind that second bounce. So here's the whole exercise at 110. Okay, so it takes a little bit of time to get used to play that right in tempo. You might have noticed that I fell a little bit behind tempo on that left hand diddle pattern. It takes a little bit of time. So isolate each one of those drag measures and play just that for a while with your metronome. If you have problems keeping up every single one of those every one of those measures with the metronome, then back it down a little bit. You know, take it at 90 beats a minute, or Okay, there's a whole lot of different things that you can get out of this exercise. So work it with a metronome. Don't speed it up until it's absolutely perfect, and you'll be set.